The Mazda CX-9 has been with us for 15 years, and in that time, the midsize crossover market has evolved and grown substantially, quickly becoming one of the hottest markets in the automotive world. Since its arrival, the CX-9 has always found itself in the shadows of its rivals, as it's never been the most practical nor the flashiest option in this price range. Yet now in the 2020s, Mazda is poised to establish themselves as a Japanese luxury brand. And if anything, the current CX-9 is an appetizer of what we should expect in the near future. But focused on the present day, the CX-9 is a solid crossover in its own right, prioritizing comfort, a driver-centric interior, and a sleek design. However, there's also some aspects where Mazda's three-row crossover falls a bit short compared to competitors, which could very well be why it's often overlooked in this segment. So here are 5 things you should know about the Mazda CX-9 before buying one. It's become common in the 21st century for non-luxury brands to add soft-touch materials, high-quality leather upholstery, and put in a concerted effort to provide a cabin that you want to be in for long drives. Mazda, more so than their closest rivals, has emphasized interior quality above anything else. And what we experience across the board for this Japanese manufacturer is only just the beginning as they transition to becoming a luxury brand. For the time being, the Mazda CX-9 is going to offer a plush and relatively upscale environment, specifically if you opt for the Signature trim, which gives you Napa leather seats. While technology and even the lack of a touchscreen may take away from the user-friendliness for this crossover, and may be less visually appealing than the dashboard layout of the Hyundai Palisade, you still feel that for the consumer market, the CX-9 is offering a great overall package. While most of the attention is on the front seats, it's the second row that really stands out, as passengers will have 3-level heated outboard seats, climate control, and a center console with a storage compartment, which is not something we normally see in this segment. Despite the CX-9 not being the most spacious, and in fact being subpar when it comes to third-row legroom, the level of comfort could rival many competitors, especially for the first 2 rows. What you'll have to ultimately consider is whether the CX-9's interior layout is a bit outdated for your liking, as other options in this market have modern technology and are moving to a fully digital setup. But when it comes to comfort, however, Mazda isn't slacking at this price point. It would be a stretch to say that the Mazda CX-9 rides like a luxury crossover, but within the segment it competes in, it certainly exceeds expectations. Traveling on roads with imperfections and bumps is much easier to take on than other consumer crossovers, as the suspension is soft and the bolstering for the seats are good enough to keep you in place. Road noise is also kept to a minimum even on the highway, giving you the perception that you're driving a more expensive vehicle. And as we discussed earlier, while you don't have the most high-tech cabin, the fit and finish adds to the ambiance and amplifies the smooth driving dynamics. The standard 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque gives you enough power to get on the highway safely. And while Mazda's 6-speed automatic transmission isn't the best out there, it pairs up nicely with this powertrain. It should be noted that rivals will offer V6s, making the CX-9 less potent when it comes to performance. However, if you're prioritizing comfort over sportiness, you won't find yourself begging for anything more with this crossover. When you take a glance at the dimensions for the CX-9, you'll likely be surprised that it's slightly longer than the Kia Telluride. But unfortunately, that doesn't translate to the interior, specifically for rear cargo space, as behind the third row, you're looking at right around 14.5 cubic feet of room, which does fall behind its closest competitors. To make up for its trimmed down cargo area, there will be side pockets found on either side where you can store smaller items. For those of you looking for better practicality over, say, a Mazda CX-5, behind the second row seats, you'll have an additional 8 cubic feet of room, making the CX-9 just a bit more family friendly. Sadly, even with both the second and third row seats folded, you still won't have interior dimensions that are on par with other crossovers of this size. However, if you have no intention of using this vehicle as a family hauler and you're just looking for a bigger alternative to a compact SUV, you may find that the CX-9 offers just enough room. In an effort to become a luxury brand in the 21st century, Mazda has put a lot of focus into the exterior designs of their vehicles. And today, they have an entire lineup of aerodynamic and sleek cars and crossovers. The CX-9 is no exception, and rather than having boxy body lines and squared off front and rear fascias, this three-row crossover takes on the persona of being athletic. While it may not be the sportiest option in this segment, the CX-9 is striking from the outside, but in true Mazda fashion, there's minimalism when it comes to the design. Just like its smaller siblings, chrome accents will outline the grille and subtly flow into the LED headlight housings. Also making this crossover appear to be more upscale is the lack of plastic cladding up front, letting you know this vehicle isn't meant to go off-road or be rugged. However, the cladding will be present for the side profile and rear, but it doesn't dominate the overall appearance. Compared to the CX-5 and CX-30, there's more chrome found throughout, specifically for the rear to help distinguish the CX-9 in the crossover lineup from Mazda. Once again, as you glance at the rear fascia, the C-pillars and roofline are not the typical look, and that is what ultimately affects the practicality. But from a design perspective, the streamlined and smoother aesthetics are honestly refreshing to see in this segment. The CX-9 may not be your first choice when looking for a three-row crossover, especially when there's the Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade. But where this vehicle had its strengths is by being a slightly more expensive alternative to a compact crossover like the CX-5. When you take into account the added practicality, the fit and finish for the interior, and a ride quality that's relatively upscale for the price range, you could justify making the upgrade, as the CX-5 falls behind rivals when it comes to cargo space. If you're on a stricter budget, the touring trim for the CX-9 could be very appealing to you, as leather seats and a power liftgate do come standard, and you can't opt for second row captain's chairs. Available will be the Touring Premium package, providing a Bose sound system, wireless phone charging pad, power moonroof, and front and rear parking sensors for a grand total of just over $41,000. Objectively, the CX-9 is severely overlooked in this segment, and it's all due to the smaller interior dimensions. But if you can look past that, the comfortable cabin and refined driving dynamics are certainly going to impress. As always, when it comes to non-mainstream vehicles that usually get the short end of the stick, we recommend experiencing one for yourself to see if the CX-9 is conducive enough for you and your family. But we think as a daily driver, this three-row crossover provides a great all-around package where the value you're receiving is sufficient enough for its price range. We hope you enjoyed this quick buyer's guide for the 2021 Mazda CX-9. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're interested in buying a CX-9 or any other three-row crossover, make sure to check out our full reviews to help you find your next vehicle. And thanks for watching.